Now it's recording.
Yes.
Okay, so so we are very happy to have Yao Yuang Yuang here. I met her 2 years ago, and she told me she was doing this field research work in Guizhou for the Miao culture, and she's going to show us some of her work. But unfortunately, she cannot play the slides. So I will share the slides here by my side, and she will do the talk. Okay, yeah. So Yao, you can go on, please. Thanks.
Thank you. Can I still call you Abba or your English name? I mean, when you call my Chinese name, it's kind of weird to me. Actually, I prefer everyone call me Angel because yeah, that's my name. Sounds child, but yeah, still. When I was studying in UK or working in the company, that's the name people usually call me. So call me anytime if you have questions. Yes, for the study, I have to mention a little bit background about myself. So I'm originally come from Guizhou province. So so that's represent my own culture. I'm not minority, I'm Han. So there's 55 different minorities in China, and there's 49 different minorities in my province. Okay, so I was tour guide before, leading tourism to the village before I go to UK. That's around like 15 or 20 years ago, something like that. But at that time, I wasn't know my culture that well. So I'm thinking, yeah, when I had the time and when I had the energy, I can do something I like. So this field research is actually happened during the last 20 days. I lead 7 peoples in my in the villages in Qiandongnan area. So it's like, yeah, it's in my province. So it's around in the Miao village, and we visit several villages. So that's, yeah, some field research I like to share with you. The reason why I choose costumes is because when I working in the village, it's very seldom you can find something lasting over 100 years, but except the clothes, the fabric. And for Miao minorities, they don't have their own writing language. So they drawing everything on their costumes. So which means a fabric, those fabric couldn't speak, but with lots of stories, and also it's a sign to signal their own tribe, their own history, even the migration way where they come from. So I'd like to show you how's that gonna work. Okay. Next slides, please. Oh, okay. This is one of my collection. It's called 100 Bird Dressing, and this is in Taijiang area. It's in an area they are really good at broken silk technique, which means one thread made by silk, they can broken into maximum 24 lines. So it's really fine embroidery, and they choose lots of birds because they believe that's the way close to the heaven and close to where their ancestors living. So during the closing, I mean, detailing, you will see lots of fascinating patterns. Yeah, that's from the first one. Actually, this clothes is, the lady told me it's around 80 years old. Okay. they wear it during the festival. They wear it during the important festivals. Next one, please. This fabric actually is from one part of the clothing, and you can see how fine the embroidery is. It still uses the broken silk technique. And this is a whole story. Talk about the frog living in the dragon pond, and the frog skin. When they take it off, he can change it into a human being, and he fall in love with the village girl. So he burned the skin, and then he refused to become an emperor. So he stayed in the village. That's the whole story talk about. So yeah, next one, please. This next slide, please.
It's a little bit laggy. It's already in the next one, right?
All right. Okay, I get it. Thank you.
No problem.
So this is from another my clothing. It's from the apron part, and you can see Chinese character of 1, and this one means 10,000, and this one is embroidery around by water wheel, means infinity, forever, yeah, something like that. Long life too. Next slide, please. So in their clothing, you can see lots of meaning and stories and different embroidery technique. This is called a character of shou, means long life. And also they have lots of butterfly around the characters. Means what they believe in is all the male people, their mom is from the butterfly, so they all call butterfly mom. So they protect the human beings and make them happy and long life. Next slide, please. In the field, you will see lots of, women, they had pay the whole attention to 2 things. One is their dressing of wedding day, and another thing is the baby carrier. This one is one of the baby carrier. It's quite ancient one. It's from the Huangping area, and the technique is like counting the thread. It's like counting thread. Yeah, that's the method. The name the lady told me, and you can see it's a family holding hand, and all around the butterfly as well. And they use different color indicate the different generations, and also they quite like left or right, they all use like 777 lines, so it's squirrel, make it sing. Next, please.
Okay.
Symmetry means fair. So this slide means 4 directions share the equal power, which means the ancestors' spirit is all fair, all welcome, all be protected from different angles, no more or less. Next one, please. For this one, the most special part is there's a mirror in the line. Could you see it? There are 2 lines, and on the bottom with the line, there's a mirror. It's the whole thing join means this is also a baby carrier. So it's like protecting the evil from, so the baby can grow up he'll see.
The mirror is the round thing.
Yeah, that's the one.
Beside his mouth. Okay.
Yeah, that's right. Next, please. During next slides, we'll give you a little bit idea how they doing the embroidery. Actually, in the very traditional way, they even making paper by themselves. So they use mulberry skin. Sometimes they use bamboo, and there are 72 different process make the material really soft, and they also burn the material so they can have the textile. So they make their own paper, and they join first. So nowadays people can buy the paper cutting, the drawing from the marketing, and actually this is the one number, and so it's the lady can sell the paper cutting. So yeah, that's so after drawing, next slide please, they do paper cutting. They always use the red paper. Okay, so next, please. So they stick the paper with the fabric. Together, so they can use the thread, cover the fabric, cover the paper cutting, the red part. That's the way they embroider. Before they do it, they will make the thread really smoothie. So they put it into the socket in a warm honey low-cost soap. So the color will last longer and really smooth for the go through the fabric. Next, please. Yeah, this picture, this photo will give you an idea how they do it with the paper cutting and with the snail and thread. All right, then that's just a few ideas from Miao. And the next one, I will give you a little bit insight of Ge. Ge is a very interesting minority because they are not named in 155 minorities in my country, but on their ID card. Everyone has ID card in China. So their nationality is Ge.
So they have their own country? No.
No, they are not be identified as individual minorities, but this is after they fighting like over half centuries fighting. So our government think this is a transfer solution during this special period. So this is just they recognize they are special minority, but they are not one of the 55 minority. I don't know how to say that, but yeah, because we only have 56 different. 50, yeah, including Han, there are 56 in China, but there are lots of unidentified like a girl, and also another village next door to Gejia. There also is different ethnic people with their own history, their costume and the festival, everything. They have their own character. Also be recognized by the history expert. But yeah, just in China, you know, we have lots of special things. I look at this way, but that's one of the things interesting. So next slide, please. Next one, thank you. And If I can ask a question, how the first impression you have when you see the girl dressing like this? If I ask a question, if anyone want to have a conversation, it looks heavy. It is very heavy, and it's pure silver. And the layer, they had lots of layer. The apron part, they over 7 layer, so it's heavy. It's true. And if you go to the village, you see the traditional weaving style. You will see that the fabric is very thick too, so it's heavy. Right. For them, I mean, most of the minority in my province, they don't do very short skirts like that, and also the strike, the legging part, that looks like a lady on ready to run or ready to riding horse to you. I mean, to me it's like that. Actually, they are they calling themselves is their ancestor is shooting sun. So they had a lot of traditional index to indicate what they ancestors do. Okay, so
I'm sorry.
There are lots of details. So let's just go to the next. I will explain the details during the next slides. The below slides. Next one. Yeah, this is the wedding dress of one girl lady, and this is actually the wedding photo. It is very heavy. Yeah. All the male people, during the wedding day, the lady normally will wear like over 50, at least 25 kilogram pure silver decorations. The more she wear, the more blessing from the family, and yeah, the more she will have attention and respect from the tribe, because during the immigrate long way, they are not original in Guizhou province. They had everything. I mean, the money they were translate into the silver. So the women carry the wuxi part. That's why they all wear silk decorations. Next, please. So this is detail of the lady hat. You will see the round part, the rear part of the hat. It's indicate the sun. And also this arrow, bone, hamid. Could you see that clearly?
Kind of to me, but just maybe I don't understand the name of each part.
The arrow, cord, arrow hole, silver bone. If you don't understand, you can just let me know. I will try. Okay. So the arrow shooting in the middle of the sun goes through the hole. Could you see the right part? There's a silver bow. So the arrow goes through the hole, shooting into the sun of the hat. The middle of the hat is the sun.
I think you are referring the long needle, the black needle in the middle of the picture.
That's not the needle. That's quite long. It's really arrow.
It's an arrow. Okay.
Yeah, it's quite long. It's like the length is like your hand, adult hand, a palm. Yeah, so it's not needle. All right, then next slide. Another angle. Yeah, from this angle, could you see, give you a little bit more idea? Arrow into the red sun. Okay.
Hi, excuse me, can I ask a question?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Is the hat fixed to her hair? That
Yes.
this needle is stick inside her hair. Yes.
That's correct.
The
yeah, that's what
costume
we're
yeah.
too.
Okay. Okay, yeah. Yeah, true. Cool. Thank you.
It's not only decoration, but also it's it's the girl thing into the holding the hair with the hat. That's just clever way they do that. Any questions? If no, can move to the next one. Yeah, this is for the unmarried lady. And let's see, next slide will show you the, you're welcome. The married lady. The married lady, they changed the shape of sun to the shape of moon. It's interesting to me. Could you tell? Yeah, that's a shape like moon. Don't ask me why.
Yeah,
all right, next slide, please.
So before the marriage, it's the sun, and then after marriage, it turns to the moon.
After marriage, they had the kids, so also they are not fighting. I mean, I don't know, do they have fighting after marriage? But anyway, they need to take care of the next generation, so they need to have soft side. That's my personal understanding, okay? So next time I will ask them why. Okay, next slide, please. Actually, this is older lady from the Gejia, and you will see the color is all changed into the dark blue. And the hat is different to it. It's become simple. And no arrow. Next slide, please. And from the dressing part, you will see, next slide, please. Yeah. It's like armor. That's one part of the dressing. Okay. Let's get the idea from the general fighting. Yeah, the general really good at fighting, so the emperor awarded him, so give him the shape of the head, also the armor, and also give him the stamp, so the award. So they use the award as a stamp. The stamp is the red square part. That means the direction and also award from the emperor. That's also a sign. Next slide, please. So inside armor, there's a batik clothing. That's part of the inside part of the dressing. So there are lots of indigo batik stuff. Okay, the red part is the place for holding the arrow. So they carry arrow inside of the red pocket. Next slide, please. It's fascinating for the in Guizhou province, the different batik, the different area has their own special drawing way. for people, they only join things like water wave. Okay, they are not like people from Dong or other Miao. They use lots of flower, glass, but for people, they only use the water wave. It's like they really focus on the way, the migration way. They cross the Yangtze River and the Yellow River. That's where their ancestors come from. And also the red part in the middle, but it's much in the batik pattern. It's indicate that's two rivers. Next, please. Next slide, please.
It's a bit late. I think maybe 5 seconds late.
All right, sorry.
No problem. Yeah.
Yeah, that's another water wave. And also in the middle of around the middle of the little square, there are 4 little parts around the middle square. Can I ask you what's that indicate? I mean, anyone use your imagination. What would you say? What's the middle part? That's 4 little part from the little square. All right then. It's fish.
Wow.
When I see those water waves, maybe really reminds me some autism people. They're drawing. They're always repeat and just has very similar pattern or something like that. So I think basically one of the reasons I like chasing minority culture or handcrafts is when the lady they doing their handcrafts or embroidery or batik, they're very peaceful. The peaceful is really comfort them and make their life quality higher. So I'm thinking maybe there's a link in between the city people and also the minority people. Their spiritual life, perhaps they can conform each other or use some methods. Yeah, that's one of the reasons I really fascinating with. So one day I'm gonna study another degree in philosophy, find out art therapy. So if you have similar thinking or feeling, we can keep contact, because what I'm saying, my plan is collecting during the next coming year, collecting 100 different ancient clothing. So try to figure out, just not figure out, at least get a record or get the stories from the lady. How's the history of the pattern, and also how they make it and how they look at the pattern now, and sharing with different artists as open resources. So yeah, everyone has their own way to press their emotion. So perhaps we can have some interesting finding from the patterns and embroidery and fabric. Next, please. 5 seconds delay. Get it?
Yep. You want the spiral lines one, right?
Yes, that's right.
Okay. Yeah, we are on it.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, this is. Well, I asked the lady, what's this mean? After she told me it's spiral lines, finding the way. I really find it's interesting. The sense of humor. They only have fish and a spiral line. That's 2 animals I saw during the whole customs. perhaps because the shell of the spiral line also is like water weaving. Yeah, perhaps that's one of the reason too. Next slide, please. In minority area, you will have lots of story to linking with the animals. How like in Dong area, they are really good at singing, and Miao people is good at dancing. It's really fantastic if you're in the village, especially during the their festivals. And there are lots of story is regard to the animals, how they live in harmony, and how the animals and they have the communication and the protect from each other and helping each other too. So the animal is just like the forest, is part of their life, as part of their living environment. Yeah. Next slide, please. Oh yeah, you're already there. Yeah, that's the spiral line as well, but without the share. Yeah, that's before they put it into the indigo. You
mean before it's indigo and now it's black?
This is after natural dye, indigo dye, and before is they use the wax. Use the wax. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Should I go to next one?
Yes, please. Next, please. Huh? Yeah. Okay. And I took this photo because the lady, when they doing their drawing, they just use whatever the material they find as a ruler. Actually, is a glass, a dry glass. Yeah, glass.
Dry glass.
Yeah, as a ruler. Next slide, please. And whatever the material they use, they still have the same size. So you see, it's in their mind. Yeah, that's I find different batik knife is nice, and I asked them how they tell it's a good batik knife. They say if you can join the knife with a straight line, means yeah, the material they do it right. But if you can't make material the knife join a straight line, it means it's not very good knife. And also when traveling in Laos and Thailand, their knife is pretty similar. Only exception is in Laos. The shape of the knife is with angle, but in my province, they are always like this, straight. Next, please. Yeah, that's different shape of the knife, so they can easily draw a really fine short line, or also it's good for them to turning around to make water wave. Yeah, things like that. Next, please.
So those knives are tools, not weapons.
Yeah, it's tool. All right, then this is apron of the ladies dressing, and it's also indicate a map. So in Han history, you will see 落水. 落水 is yeah, it's a long story. It's represents 4 seasons, also 12 different festival according to the lunar calendar, start from spring to winter. And the timeline also use different angle they move, so it's indicate the direction from 4 or 8 angles. So it's also a map. So during the costume, there are lots of signs they use in the military war area, war function. Next, please. Yes, that's the smaller part of the, and the, could you see on the stripe, there's a black part. It's indicate the horse. So they riding horse, the horse runs fast. So they embroider a horse shape into the stripe. Next, please. Yeah, that's, I mentioned before, the pocket, the red pocket is for the arrow, for holding the arrow. Next, please. Yeah, explained before, silver, lots of silver. Next, please. Different minority, they have different silver style. Yeah, for the decoration for Gejia is more like swords and knives. Could you see the very little decoration below the below part? Weapon. Next slide, please. Yeah, legging. Also, black part imply the running horse. I mentioned before. Next slide, please. Yeah, that's good. People declaimed, yeah, the hero of Hou Yi, yes. Hou Yi, who shoot 8 sons, left 1 son. Yeah, that's it. Thank you. I think that's the end of the slides, right?
Yeah, I think they don't know who is Hou Yi.
Hou Yi is from the Hou Yi. Hou Yi is from the 传说, from the,
Yeah, it's a
legendary story, right? It's quite familiar in China.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, it was telling about a man who shoot down 9 sons. They said there were 9 sons in the ancient time, and there's a guy who takes care of the head of it. Yes. Anyway, so. Okay, so maybe we can start the QA section. So thank you for this, for your sharing your personal experience of your field research there.
Yeah, actually I had lots of photos, but as a PPT, I wasn't put all the information and some close. I didn't give you the whole photo. But if you're really interested in, you can contact with Abao, and he will have my email address. We can keep in touch, and I can loop you. I mean, also we can talk. What part are you interested in? All right. Sorry, someone just mentioned some question I missed. Sorry. Okay. What I missed?
I had a question. My question.
Oh yes, please.
Hi, Angel. Thank you so much. My question.
You're welcome.
Well, I have 2 questions. One is more of a technical question. My first question is, might you have an idea of the difference between the words minority and indigenous as they pertain to China? And my second question is if you had any idea of the indigo fermentation or the indigo dyeing mixture that the gejia would use. Thank you.
I can answer your second question pretty quick. They all use same technique, fermentation, all same technique. Even the plants the same. So yeah. There's no difference from Gejia to Miao or other Dong area. There's no different.
Right. I know that they use wine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like other elements.
For that part, yeah, they also use sometimes they use the wine, and also sometimes they use the different iron, yeah, and also the ash of burning grass. Rice grass, yes. So they can have acid part.
And do they extract directly from the leaves, or do they turn the leaves into a powder first?
Actually, I did a documentary about the whole process. With a special big hole, they do the fermentation. If you're interested, I can send you. But that's in Chinese. But from the video, you will have all the detail how they put the grass into the
yeah.
Do the fermentation, right? Then after several days, they use like doing the tofu way to cook it. Mm-hmm. Then yeah, there are lots of process. I can't give you all details.
Yeah, I'd love to see the documentary. I understand Chinese, so that won't be a problem.
Oh, that's fantastic then. If so, you can. I mean, I will give you my WeChat, because I'm sorry. I mean, in mainland China, we don't have Facebook or Twitter or so I only use the WeChat.
That's great. So, I also use WeChat. I don't have Facebook or Twitter. So.
Okay, cool. So yeah, perhaps you can ask about my WeChat to me, and I can give you other explanation and the yeah.
Okay.
It's nice.
Thank you.
So for the first question, I wasn't really get what's the question. Can I beg your pardon, please?
Yeah, I guess. Well, in the U.S., there are distinctions between indigenous and minority as words and as definitions. And I was just interested if there are specificities of those terms and how they might apply in mainland China. Or maybe there isn't much of a difference.
For this question, I didn't fully get what you exactly mean.
I guess it is now kind of becoming a question of semantics, but
I think Iris, you mean does she means if she used the words as a minority, does that referring any social states, reflect any social positions of those tribe people?
Yeah, for instance, like in China, you would say like 少数民族, right? But in the US, 少数民族 doesn't mean indigenous, or it doesn't mean like wait, how do you say indigenous in Chinese? 原住民 yeah. 少数民族跟原住民是不同的意思，在美国，所以我想知道在中国有没有这个 difference?
Okay, just like in east part of the Taiwan, there are lots of tribe, right? But they are not minority, they are kind of tribe. But in China, minority tribe equal, they are same. 我们没有原住民 the original what's the word you use? I couldn't even tell the original words you used just now. We don't have the difference. Ethnic people, minority people, yeah. We don't have the 原住民.
Okay, thank you.
We're same. It's equal. Okay.
So, excuse me, I also have 2 questions.
Yes, please. Go ahead.
Yes, okay. So the first one is also a more technical question that's about the process of embroidery. So when they put this red paper on the fabric to embroider it, they will just cover the paper inside their embroidery. They are not going to remove it after.
Correct.
Okay, yeah, so yeah, this is a good answer as I am expecting. And the second one is that we saw a lot of female costume, and they are a lot inspired by fighters or like a kind of more sportive kind of image. In their menswear, do they also follow in the thread that they are the ancestor of Hoi, or do they have another image different with female image?
Actually, for men part, wasn't particularly that with that particular VI system. Okay, for men, no.
So there's only the female dressing showing that
That's
they
correct.
are the ancestor of Hoi. That's
Yes.
very interesting, actually.
Yes, it's female part, and I think that I also think the female part is more like feminine part in the society. That's why the male part is, you know,
So
less
is
obvious.
there society like more leading by female than male, or?
Yeah, that's very interesting. Yeah, that's very interesting part. Like during in Miao area, you will see lots of men. They just play birds. They have the bird cage and all the inside house work and the field house outside work like labor work. It's all done by female.
Okay. Okay, cool.
Men is a little more lazy part, and they drinking from the daytime to the nighttime.
Okay, because when you were introducing the custom, I was thinking that this is really different with Han style traditional clothing, that they tend to show the soft part or the how to say, the family side of female, but the custom of Ge is showing the strong part or the sportive side of female. So I was really interested in how the men's wearing during their for their traditional custom.
I only can tell you that from the Ge people, men part is not that fascinating. But did you remember the first the 100 bird costume? That's for men. And also the men is because they are kind of witch. Is that called witch for men? They can fighting against the evil and can kill people sometimes. Is that called witch? No.
So it's like they are more playing the shaman or like.
Oh yeah, shaman part. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. So for men, for male, if they are shaman, yeah, they deserve nice embroidery costume. Otherwise, they are very simple.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. It's true. If you go to the village, you will see. Yeah.
I have a question. So, first is how many years you've been doing this, and how many villages or you have ever visited, and how do you work with the local community, and by the work you are doing with them, in what way you think you in what way you think you can empower their culture, or do you think it's a necessary thing to promote their culture? Or I don't know the situation in China, so I'm just wondering, as a community worker, what is your aspect, or what is your vision to continue this kind of I don't know, I say collaboration with the local village?
It's a long question.
Yeah.
Okay, get it. First of all, I already been visit around 500 different villages in Guizhou, even some part of the Yunnan province and the Sichuan province too. Yeah, 500. I think it's around 500. There's no problem there.
You mean totally? In total, there are 500 villages, or you have visited there? You have visited 500? No.
Yeah.
Huh?
I only mentioned the part I visit because there are lots of villages. Village is it's the smaller part to counting the system. Okay, so it's I would say in Guizhou province there are over. Actually, I never counted that before because it's really lots, just like stars. You don't counting them. It's just quite lots. So it's with lots of rich culture. You never feel bored. That's why I leave UK. I mean, mainland China is with diverse culture, especially in ethnic area.
So you mean they are really numerous? There are many villages, so they are still in the, how to say, strong. Their culture is still strong. They are not really the minority.
I wouldn't think in that way. I think every ethnic village, they have their own character. I mean, I don't define the strong, or I don't define that way. I from my point of view is, I mean, in Guizhou province, they all face the economic booming, also lots of opportunity outside of the villages, and also young generation, they are leaving their villages to have gain other technique skills and earn money and send back to the villages. So so there, I'm thinking, and I'd like to say, we are facing the period we're losing the diversity of culture in the village. That's something happened. That's why I only can find some costumes which they are not make it anymore, because the time they spend on a piece of fabric, wouldn't bring them only equal money. Because, for example, one day work they as a truck worker, even the Miao lady, they work in the city as a construction worker, they can have 150 yuan. 150 yuan is around $20. Yeah, similar, $24. I don't know the minimum wage, but in the village, they could not, if they only do the embroidery, they wouldn't make that $24. So it seems like they don't have other choice. So they have to go out. Because yeah, they have their own land. But in Guizhou province, average people have the land to do the 种田. How to say 种田? 阿宝怎么说种田? Farming. Yeah, farming. The farming. The harvest. Harvest is okay enough for their living, but if they want to pay tuition fee for their children, they want to pay the red pocket money, their lack of cash. So they have to have some cash. Okay. So current culture, I don't think did bring their income because they have their own culture. So in this case, there's no people continue the culture, and the culture value is not translated into the market value. That's a key thing, because industry production line is not fit for the village. There's no. I was working in Foxconn, so if you mention anything about the supply chain and quality control and design, there no that kind of system in the village. Even I had one project called Upcycle. Upcycle project actually is already last 4 years now, and every year we supporting over 25 ladies in the village. They can using the broken shirt, wasn't used, but it's just because the quality is for the Eden Kids. Do you aware of Eden Kids? It's the uniform of the high school or junior school. Eden Kids is quite popular in UK, and also there are quite lots in China. So the Eden Kids providing us lots of shirts. It's new shirts. So this pure cotton, I asked the lady in the village, they can make into other like the bag, like the decoration thing, so they can have a little bit money. And we try to use those broken shirt upgrade to some useful stuff. So during this process, the management team is really take a little bit time, because in the village, they lacking of the time management skill. There's no concept of deadline. If they had a family festival or someone married or died, the whole villager will go to the eating part, drinking. So they are not worried about deadline. And also the quality control also is difficult there. And the key thing is, because like embroidery by hand is take lots of time, like one clothing might use their over 5 years to accomplish one. But I mean, the cash part, if they don't, first of all, we don't have distribution channel to sell it, first of all. The only chance they had is our government say, okay, let's oversee exhibition, you present the diversity culture of China, so the governor will pay the transport fee, so they can wear their costume and they be able to sell some of their products outside of the world. Yeah. We don't have fair trade operation in Guizhou, in China, yeah, in like tea, coffee, but not in embroidery area. And also, so the embroidery wouldn't be able to sell fair price, represent how long costs the ladies. So they are not doing this technique anymore. And yeah, our government providing some training program, but there's no market. There's no market and there's no distribution channel. So there's no label back to continue the technique. So there's lacking, we are facing losing the culture because there's no people carry on the technique. So that's one of the answers I will give to about this. I think it's important to, why I like to share those information as open resources, because we need several things. If the village can have more income, the situation might change, but this is need to, we can have the system turn the traditional culture invisible, intangible culture, translate into market value. Without that, they are not gonna survive in this time. Seriously, you will not be able to see the costume only in the museum, only in some people's collection. That's it. So it's a pity. So that's why I want to share the pattern. I want to share, I attracting more people have attention to those resources. If we are protecting the diversity of die animal, we are dying culture, represent some region of the human being culture. So it's the same. But when the culture part turned into the market value, there are lots of methods. Actually, I back Guizhou province 4 years ago, and I had some project like in Buyi area. I live in the village over 3 years, and we find the element of the local culture. We present to the governor, and the governor persuade them have the structure or facility change. The investment into the village is done, but continuous thing is we're still lacking lots of things, especially people. So like people of good design, people of design knows our technique, our material, and knows our relevant to our culture. We lack lots of people. We don't have those talent people. Yeah. So I answer some of about culture.
Just to sort of respond to that, I visited Xijiang Miaozai a couple years ago, which is like a really large village, and it's like pretty commercialized, I would say. And I was just really struck by the amount of tourism in that particular village, and how that, I was wondering if you have any ideas of how the amount of tourism affected life or affected, you know, even the presentation of that village. Because I was also told that there are some Han Chinese performers who would perform as Miao Hmong people. I don't know if you have ideas about that.
If you mention about Xijiang, actually, Gejia, this village is like half hour driving from the Xijiang, and I think Xijiang is foreigner tourists normally they don't go there, and also domestic tourists, if they are introduced by the mass travel agency, yeah, they will go. Otherwise, now young generation peoples, they are not like Xijiang that much, especially for the commercial part. We try to looking for some rural area like Gejia, like because there in Xijiang will not be able to experience typical Miao lifestyle over there. We have the operational, the leader of the Xijiang, I think, that's not only about Xijiang. I have to say this is all about, I mean, mainland China. The problem, we don't do spiritual life experience. We don't think that in that part, how to translate into experimental lifestyle. It's not there. I couldn't find good examples, good practice in mainland China. For tourists, it's just like a little bit disappointed because we have potential to do the tailor-made. We have potential to, we have so many rural, not rural area, half an hour driving to Gejia. And if providing good program, providing by the local villager, they can, let's just do example in Gejia. Actually, we did something in Gejia. We made 4 days Gejia culture experimental program in Gejia, which means you can really living with the villager. We found 40 houses. They can providing around 40 beds for people to stay with them, and they can really eating with them and do all the embroidery, handcraft stuffs with them, and also can wear the costumes, those kind of things. If that can be a experimental culture program into the tourists, I think that's one of the way to helping them realize the local culture could be something market value.
Okay, I think that is a very complex debate, or it takes more time to find out what we are really on here. But yeah, but by my personal experience, in our first and second event, we used to work with a tribe in the Atayo tribe in Taiwan. I think it's too little time to talk about the whole thing here, but now I'm also trying to work in Qinghai. I was building a greenhouse for them. Yeah, but I don't think I think first of all, it is really the different aspect in different societies, and each society is evolving in different speed. So people hold different opinions, especially Western society and the Eastern society. And I think each society has different tasks. So it's really hard to find the equal way or a universal way to deal with all these questions. But I strongly don't agree with to solve it, to solve this kind of issues by financial solutions, because it's for example, like we try to do something for the community. We think we are capable to do that, but for example, they want the greenhouse, but my friends immediately, I told this story to my friends, but they immediately donate a lot of money to the community, and suddenly they had warm water, and their life quality is immediately gets boost. But it doesn't change the fundamental social position, their social positions, and so like I just mean educations or any collaboration which can help their awareness to their own identity, or that helps. But this is a long.
Yeah, I hear you. I feel like every situation or every context is so different. Considering like how each village or tribe, or like in the States, there are whether you're state recognized tribe or your federally recognized tribe gives you different allowances or gives you different status. And some groups cannot even become state recognized tribes. But yeah, I hear the complexities, and I work within the complexities too, in the sense that the way like state sponsorship or state, how do you say, like the way China and the way the US would deal with these things are similar but different because of their sort of imperialist nature. But
yeah. But I think because of the time, I think we can continue the discussion during the event or in the future somewhere. Yeah, but here I think the most important thing is that Yao shows us the authentic field research from her, and yeah, we are very thankful for this for your presentation today. So I think we might close
You're
this
welcome.
meeting. Yeah, thank you. So if
Thank you.
thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
I'd love to get your WeChat if possible.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Yeah, I can. Yeah. Oh, I can share her WeChat too.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much. I'll see you soon.
Yeah, see you. Bye bye.